Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here. Great to be with you again on IFYL. We'll get started here in just a second. But if you're new here, do me a favor and go ahead and just open up your camera app, point over the QR code. You'll get immediately transported to believemeachieve.com, where more of my amazing, inspiring creations live. And you can check them out. They're not just video. There's also some video of still life. There's pictures there. There's so much stuff, and there's articles. So definitely check it all out. And also the place you want to go if you want to support us and keep this content free by clicking on help keep our content free. We'd be very appreciative of that. So let's get into the master topic. But before we get into the master topic, I want to thank you so much for being here. Whether you're here at 11:25 at night, 11:25 in the morning, 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 4 a.m., potato. I'm very grateful that you're here. We started with a new master topic. We roll through the week and we finish up on a Friday. So we're day 2 into the master topic. So thank you so much for being here. And people ask me, what do you do, John? Well, I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I'm also your podcast coach. And yes, a specialist in helping businesses tell a story that leads to them growing and being more scalable and, of course, profitable. All right. I typically work with companies that bring in 10 million or more. I'm very good at helping them tell their story, whether they know what their story is or if they need me to find the story and create the story. I do it from their truth. So great doing that. And also, if you have a podcast and you want to grow it or you want to start a podcast, you can reach out to myself and my team. We'll be happy to help you on your journey. Incidentally, we have added a brand new spot to believemeachieve.com. So if you are, let's say, a podcaster, or maybe you're a podcast guest, you'll see a brand new thing, tools for podcasts, hosts, and guests. And there's some things right there with some great deals. So definitely check that out. I think you guys will be very impressed with that. So let's get into our master topic because I'm excited about that. And that is how and why taking someone's temperature leads to success. The specific show subtopic is unlocking life's thermometer. And so when we think about this, I think the biggest thing that comes up to people is they don't quite understand what that means. They get a little bit lost. And so we talked yesterday about how you actually achieve, how you actually go and achieve, measuring somebody's own personal temperature, right? We talked about that. However, we also talked about the importance of, why you need to do that. And I think that's a very, very important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that we have to embrace that. When we know that if our temperature was to fall too low, that could be hypothermia, we could have infection. There could be lots of different things that could be happening. So definitely be alert for that. So what I want to talk about tonight is how to take a person's temperature. Okay. So first I want to talk about friends. Now, you might be saying to me, hey, John, I don't know what my friend thinks. I don't know what page they're on. Well, if you don't know what page they're on, there's a very good chance that you're probably not as good of friends as you think you are. Because if you did know that, you would be more in sync with them. You ever heard the phrase like, he repeats or he completes my sentences, she completes my sentences? They have such a bond that happens. And so questions you can ask a friend. Maybe you're going somewhere. You might say to your friend, maybe you want to go and get burgers. And maybe you want, pizza. And so you might say something like, so I know you want burgers. We go for burgers all the time. And I was just wondering, how much would it take for you to actually want to do pizza? Or, what can I do to get you to try pizza? Well, for starters, I don't want to go to that restaurant. I want to go to another restaurant that has pizza. I would do that. Okay, so you kind of figure out where they are, and it's about compromise. It's not about one whole person giving in. It's not about the other person totally giving in. It's a compromise. So maybe you're in a friendship situation and you're trying to get your friend to help you. And your friend says, I no. And you make it back and say, look, I've known you for a while. Um, I really need your help. What's it going to take for you to help me out for just maybe a half hour to get some of my stuff out so I can move? And they're going to be honest with you if you know them well. Well, John, yeah, I don't mind giving the half hour. It's the time of day. You want it at night. And I have things I'm doing with my family. So I could do it early in the morning. I could do it after lunch. Or if you want, I could do it, early on the weekend before I have to go to softball or baseball practice or the game. So when you understand how far apart you are, we call that taking the person's temperature. So we talked about the importance of you taking someone else's temperature and taking your own temperature, right? Like if you're caring for them. But it's very important to know your own temperature, because if the temperature is wrong, you know what happens? You can be very sick. And so if we don't take other people's temperature on a religious basis consistently, then we might lose the bond. We might lose the connection. That's what might happen. And so my question to you tonight is, everyone, how do you take your friend's temperature to make sure you are staying friends? That friendship takes time and effort, right? And it's not about you doing one thing for them. It's about, give and take. If there's a great experience that you're connecting with and you like to text, the other person like to text, hey, just wanted to reach out to you. We had a great time yesterday, or how's school going? You can call them occasionally, maybe hang out with them if possible, watch a movie, get some popcorn, go out, perhaps maybe go to a concert, use video chat to hang out with them through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You could do that, right? Be a good friend. I really appreciate you being there for me. People don't say that enough. Happy birthday, but don't just call people on their birthday. Or don't just call them when, you need something. Is there anything I can help you with? All right. I'm not sure that red is your color. So whenever there is let's say, a big gap between what you want and what they want, you can ask some questions like, Mark, I know you don't like to go to baseball games. And I just want to know, because I want you to be there with me, what would it take to get you to come to that baseball game? Well, first of all, John, I'd have to be sitting in an inside box. And I would have to get an autograph from a certain player. And they're giving you some hard reaches there. But if you're willing to do that, they're probably willing to make the sacrifice to come to the game. Maybe it's a time issue. Maybe you're working on something and, all of a sudden you go back to your friend and you're like, hey, I can't help you. Or the answer is no. I've done this before. Let's say I've helped somebody all the time with their IT or their marketing stuff. And all of a sudden, I'm helping them, always there to help them. And then I need some help. Like I'm moving next week and they tell me no. Ask them again. They tell me they'll get back to me. They, that kind of a thing. They didn't really say no. They kind of say, I'll get back to you. Third time, Oh, well, I'll get back to you. So now you're waiting all this time. You ask again, oh, John, I'm really, really busy. And now they have a problem. Like they got the blue screen of death. I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. Well, can you just help me with this? I said, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you come over and help me move for an hour? And once you do that, then I'll take a look at your laptop. And they're kind of like, all right. So it's like some people abuse the other person. Maybe they don't do it intentionally, but they do it. All right. So that's friends. Let's talk about a relationship. Relationship, it could be platonic, or it could be non-platonic, just with you know, people that you know, right? So what's the difference? So a platonic relationship, okay, is one where there is no love, there's no sexual desire, okay? That is platonic. Non-platonic is more of a romantic type of relationship. And so you have to understand that there's going to be some differences between platonic and non-platonic. You might tell me that you don't like something because it's maybe non-platonic and you feel you have control over me. But in a, let's say, platonic relationship, you're a little more careful. You don't want to be as rude. That's what I've noticed. I don't think it's very good. So now that we've talked about friends, we've talked about relationships, this also happens with our prospects. And we're just going to dive into this a little bit, but tomorrow we'll get deeper. So we've said that taking a temperature is to understand where we are. Because maybe, we're heading into a china shop, like a bowl, and we have no idea that we're going to disrupt this entire apple cart. We have no idea, right? And so tomorrow we'll get more into those phrases. But I just want to let you know that taking the temperature with your friends, okay, your relationships, whether platonic or non-platonic, love or non-love, right? Or your prospects. It is a process, and it can't be 21 questions. It has to be, hey, I was just wondering, how far apart are we? I want to go to the movies. And like, I really don't want to go to the movies. Well, let me just ask you this. I know you don't want to go to the movies today. What would it take in the future to possibly like open you up to wanting to maybe go to the movies once? And they might think about it. Well, it's got to be like right around the corner of my house. It has to be the one right around the corner of my house. It has to be a matinee on the weekend because I don't want to go out at night during the week. And if we go there, I would want you to take me to Alfino's Italian restaurant next door, either before the movie or after the movie. And when we go there, I want to make sure that we get a good seat. So I want to make sure that we get to the movie at least 30 minutes before, because I don't want to just come in late. I hate that because I don't get the seat I want. And so you learned what it is that's going to make them comfortable, but that may not actually do anything for you. I mean it. They're willing to make a sacrifice for you if you do one thing, if you help them do something. And what is that something? That something is basically a concession. It's a concession. And with that concession, I think you can understand that it is very possible, okay, to get what you're looking for. I mean, extremely, extremely possible, okay? But I feel some people, for whatever reason, they just don't go that way. They get confused. And it shouldn't be something that you're unhappy about, But you always want to make sure that you and the other person are on board, that you agree where we're at. If you don't agree, then how can you ever do anything? So we always have to know, where is somebody? Like, where are they? And if you know where they are, then I feel that your life can be pretty amazing. Okay? Your life can be pretty amazing. But it doesn't happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. So we have to make sure that we keep relationship or communication lines open. If we don't keep them open, people are going to exclude us. People are going to, you know, give excuses as to why they don't want to do something, because you're not taking their temperature. When we get to prospects, which we'll talk about more in the week, if we just jump for the sale and we haven't even found out if this is what they want. Like, maybe you're asking about going to the movies, but you never even asked, like, what they want to go see. Would they be open to seeing a thriller? Do they want to see a comedy? You can't just go there and say, okay, gee, we're going to go see this movie. You got to have some communication. So how to take a person's temperature is all about us staying in communication. When we're in communication, when we're taking the temperature often, we're able to make sure we're healthy, but we're able to make sure the relationships are healthy. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege. It's been a pleasure. And of course, it has been an honor to be with you this fantastic, amazing evening here, Sunday, October 29th, 2023. I can't believe this, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's tomorrow is the Monday, the 30th, and then 30th is Goosey Night, which is tomorrow night. And then Tuesday is Halloween, October 31st. I can't believe that. But it is very, very true. Before we do go, I want to let you know what I do, friends. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I am your podcast host and, of course, podcast coach. And I specialize in helping businesses tell a story that leads to them growing and being more scalable and more profitable. I typically work with companies that make 10 million or more. They know the story, or they don't know it, and they need me to figure out what that story is. And I'm happy to do that for them and provide that authenticness. Because when I do that, ladies and gentlemen, you know what happens? People become curious about what it is they're doing. And when they do that, they ask these questions, and then they learn, and they have a very strong potential of becoming your new clients. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night. We'll catch you guys tomorrow for another episode. But in the meantime, remember to take everyone's temperature constantly, even if it's not with a thermometer, but you're taking it so you know where you stand. And we'll give you some more tips about how to do that as our week goes on. Have a great night, everyone. Be well. And remember, take your temperature, make it a habit, and it won't seem like a chore. Have a great night, everyone. Be well.